I used to be one of those people who hated top buns or like half up buns with your hair down, but ironically now my hair is too short to do really anything else with it, so this is what I'm stuck with. Anyway, hello YouTube. My name is Isabella, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review for Warcross by Marie Lu. I was very lucky to win an ARC in a Goodreads giveaway, and I'm really excited to review it for you today. Warcross is, I believe, planned to be a duology, and this one is coming out September 12th is the date that I could find for the most part. I've seen some conflicting things on like the Indigo website of like the 12th or the 19th, but I believe almost universally Warcross is coming out on the 12th. This was my first Marie Lu book, so I didn't really know how I was going to feel about it. She's pretty popular on BookTube with her Legend trilogy and then the Young Elites trilogy. And when I heard about this book, I was interested in it, but I initially planned to read something else by her first and then get to Warcross, but because I won it, I figured I might as well read and review it. This book has been getting a lot of buzz, even pre-release, and so I'm sure a lot of you already know what it's about. Warcross is about an 18-year-old Chinese-American girl named Amika Chen, who is a bounty hunter. She is really struggling in life. An opportunity for a really large bounty comes in, and so she takes it and flies all the way to Tokyo to kind of deal with what's going on. This book is a sci-fi futuristic type of book. Basically, this virtual reality game was created where you put on a set of glasses and you can experience a virtual world on top of like the regular world, and also you can play this really cool game that's very difficult to explain and I know I'll get wrong. This book is set in our world, just like a few years in the future. I'm not entirely sure when, so there isn't a crazy amount of world building that Marie Lu has to do, and because this was a sci-fi book, I think sometimes world building and sci-fi just, they don't really go hand in hand, but it was really important for this one because of the tech that was involved. She explains how the tech works, how it was created, and actually has a really realistic kind of way of showing how the tech has swept the world by storm. And I think a good example would be YouTube, how the people who grew up with YouTube love it, and that's where so many of us get a lot of our content, and like the older generation doesn't get it. She does a really good job of showing how a lot of people love it and so many people have embraced it, but there are those skeptics who think that it's just a fad, or people are just playing a game and they don't realize how something like that can become such an integral part to your day, to your identity and what you do. And I love the setting. 80% of this book was set in Tokyo, Japan, and it was really cool because Tokyo is like a really technological place, so it makes sense that the head of Warcross would be in Tokyo and that would be the city that like embraced it the most. So that was a really smart choice and I very much enjoyed it. I wish we would have gotten to see even more of it, but that's again me being a little bit picky. The characters in this book were pretty great. Amika, our main character, she is Chinese American, and that is own voice's representation. She has like a full sleeve of tattoos, her hair is rainbow colored, and it's just, she's so cool and like she's a badass. But not in the sense where she can beat every single person up and every person she faces, everything is easy for her, but she works at what she does. She's a bounty hunter, but she also is fantastic with technology, and she uses that in her bounty hunter work, which I think is super cool, and it just shows how intelligent she can be. She's a flawed character. She has a past that is a little morally gray, which I always appreciate, and she just is a very complex, dynamic character. The other sort of main character, or most prominently featured character, is Hideo Tanaka, who is Japanese, and he is the creator of Warcross and the tech and all of that stuff, and he is the one who hires Amika to like do her job. He's a pretty fascinating character. My one complaint is that you don't really get to see too much of him until like later on in the book. He's very interesting and mysterious, and if you've read the book, you know why. I'm very excited to see where his arc goes in the future. Some of the side characters were super great, and I also really liked that Marie Lu had a character that was in a wheelchair, but he was also a super prominent player in Warcross, like universally renowned. And it's just, I really appreciated that, because as much as everyone preaches about diversity in books, I think disability is one of the ones that is not mentioned the most. I can't speak on whether or not their representation was great, because I am an able-bodied person, but I feel as if she did it respectfully. There are two queer boys who like had a history with one another, and I think we might possibly get more in the future with them. Now, the plot is a little bit difficult to review because I don't want to spoil anything, and a lot of the major things that happen are in like the last 100 pages of the book. So bear with me if my explanations or anything sound vague. The plot of Warcross was kind of by the books, forgive the pun. I don't know how to say this without spoiling anything, but I anticipated certain things to happen because of the way the plot was laid out, which I know sounds weird, but if you've read it, you'll understand. So I guessed a few of the reveals, but then there were also reveals that I didn't anticipate and also made me very excited for the next book. One thing I wish there was more of was the actual gameplay. You get to see a tournament and how the actual game works, because there's the virtual reality, but also the game itself, which has become an international phenomenon, and I wanted to see more of that. It was kind of the case where sometimes you get to see the whole thing, but then also another game was explained within a sentence, and I wanted to see more of it because it was really cool. And yeah, no, I wanted to see a little bit more of it. I thought the antagonist was okay. He became more interesting as it went along, but like no great shakes. All of my rambling, confusing, vague stuff aside about the plot, I do think the sequel is going to be kick-ass. Because this is an advanced copy, a few of my like little complaints I think could be cleared up in the finished copy. So those little things I said with a grain of salt, because I do think they can be improved upon. I gave Warcross 4 out of 5 stars. So let me know if you plan to pick up Warcross, if something I said swayed you either way. I would love to know. Also, have you read any other of Marie Lu's work? I would like to know if I should start with the Legend trilogy or the Young Elites first. If you have an opinion on that, please share them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!